Today's video, we're gonna talk about how to get 200% more out of your Facebook and LinkedIn ad campaign simply by messaging the people who like and or comment on your ads via your actual typical newsfeed or sponsored posts. What I'm talking about here is using a custom script that I've developed to arm the people that like and or comment on your posts to get them into a sales discussion with you. Not just saying, hey, you should buy my crap on my website link here. No, that will help a little bit on your sales or the typical ROI you would get on a campaign. Pivot and use this to push to an actual sales conversation with the salesperson, a member of your sales staff. You can get 100, 200, 300% more ROI out of your campaigns just simply by doing this, and of which very few people are going to want to do because they don't want to put the extra work in to get the result. But I can tell you that a lot of campaigns simply just don't work, but would work if they just simply instituted and added this add-on to their overall campaign, their sales process, whatever you want to call it, because it works, baby. Okay, so I'm going to talk about how this process works so you can install it for yourself. And then if you stay to the end of the video, I'll have a case study, actually 2 case studies, where I talk about how well this method works, and you'll know how it's going to work for yourself doing it for your own business. Now, I will say that it does work better for one business over another. If you are in services, this works extremely well. If you're in B2B services, it works even better in that case. If you sell just regular, even like an e-commerce business, you're still gonna see results with it, just not as much, okay? So there's a spectrum on this, as there are with any of the strategies I introduce on this particular channel. Nevertheless, you should certainly consider it, and I'm gonna tell you what the method is here next. So with that said, you put good money behind a piece of content on LinkedIn, on Facebook to get awareness in your market, then you don't even work the leads that you're gonna get from that. That is the people's liking and or commenting on those posts. What are you doing ultimately? And there's a lot of campaigns, if you've watched my channel before, I talk about a 2-step sales process on Facebook and LinkedIn that we're typically gonna use. You use one piece of content to build an audience of people that you know are interested in your product and or service. You're selling, where you make signs for companies. You're gonna show the type of signs that you make on a video. And with that, on that video, if somebody watches all the way to the end of the video, you can then remarket to the people who specifically watched that entire video, indicating they like that type of sign, and then you sell them the sign then. You don't sell them the sign up front because it doesn't work as well. Just to keep it simple, I won't get into all the specifics there. But as you initial step in that process, people are gonna like, people are gonna comment. You'll make way more money if you go after those people who like and comment on the first piece. Or if you're just doing a 1-step process, you'll make a lot more money in general as well, especially in that first scenario that I described. And in a lot of occasions, you can just market content by itself. Like let's say, because we've done this type of thing as well, let's say you are an accountant, okay? And you want to talk about, due to the new rules, here's how you can get this tax credit by doing X, Y, and Z. You push out that piece of content. The people who like the content, you reach out to them. You now don't need to have a direct pitch in your advertising at all. You don't have to reach out to people and through your advertising and say, hey, hire our accounting services because you're going to save money on your taxes or whatever. You can just tell them the benefit, okay? Then when they say they like the benefit, you reach out to them. It's a whole different model of monetizing users on LinkedIn and Facebook this way. It allows you to completely get ads to work in markets where they just simply would never worked. Because guess what? When they're on Facebook and on LinkedIn, they're not there to see ads. They hate them. They are there to get educated about things. And so you educate them, and then you just simply reach out to the people who like the education. And you've already got the trust and respect, so when you reach out to them, at least with the script that I'm giving you here, they're going to be open to it. Whereas if you message them out of the blue, they're going to think you're spam. You're warming up the audience for yourself. So, but on Facebook, you can of course message anybody you want. Yes, it technically goes into like a filter in your messages if somebody's not already, you haven't friended them, but you can do that. And you can't message an unlimited amount of people on Facebook before you get a warning from Facebook. But if you're just doing 10 or 20 a day, you can get by with that. On LinkedIn, however, you can't just obviously message anybody you want. You got to have a connection with them first. So this is a little less effective on LinkedIn, but the deal size is so much bigger with B2B, and that's typically where you're going to go run ads itself on LinkedIn, selling to businesses. In that case, so even though you're going to get less reach outs, the ROI, each additional sale you're going to get is so much more, it's still worth it to do it. Try to add them. The rate in which you're going to get people to add you back is going to be, depending on your market, somewhere between 10 and 50%. And then you're just going to reach out to them after that. So, that's a limitation on LinkedIn itself. Now, you may be asking right off the bat or thinking, isn't there just software that just does this? There is some software out there that will do this. However, not at the level that you want. It's similar to the video I made about live chat programs. People want to automate too damn much in terms of their marketing. It's great to automate a live chat module on your website so you can chat with people. When they get to your website, you have a message show up for them, and based upon what they're looking at, that message can be customized. That's good automation. Bad automation is trying to automate the entire conversation with the client, because people hate live chat bots with a passion. I mean, granted, if you're going to check on order status at a company you've already dealt with, they'll deal with a chat bot. They ain't dealing with no damn chat bot on your website where you're selling windows and they've never dealt with you before. As soon as someone sniffs out it's a chat bot, they're gone and they're going to be pissed. And then now they have a negative impression of your brand at that point in time, by the way, which tries to cut corners everywhere they possibly can. There's automation here that can help out. If you're going to do automation, I would do the automating the connection requests, because that's a good automation, I would say. Reaching out though to these users, because you want the approach to be customized based upon who that user is, automating that would be in the category of bad automation. But the process is real simple. You scrape the user data from the ad preview tool on Facebook, on LinkedIn. So obviously if you go, and I'm not going to give you the exact click here step, that you can figure this out relatively easily on your own using Google. If you can't, leave me a comment in the comment section. I'll explain it to you if I have to. But using the ad preview tool on both platforms, it'll say how many likes / reactions it got and how many comments it got. Okay, and that's where you're getting your users to reach out to. Then you can send a connection request to each person if you're talking about LinkedIn here. Then you're going to generate your script of what you're going to tell them. Okay, and then you're going to send that obvious message to them. The script that you're going to use to reach out to these people, I mean, obviously you can take what I gave you here as a seed idea and take it to the next level. This is what I've proven out to be the best message that I could come up with personally and have tested, so you can use it for yourself. That is, hey, insert name of person. Hey, John, I've seen you like my content. Or it could be comment, or you commented on my content. And then you're going to, depending on your market, insert the name of the content to revert back to what it is that the first step is not seeming like a stranger. Hey, John, I seen you like my content on 10 ways to get, old ladies to like you, or whatever. I am the owner of, insert the name of your company, Johnson Motors, and I wanted to give you, John, a free insert whatever it is that they would care about, that they would want, as I see the true potential of our relationship due to insert contrived reason that you find out after researching their profile. When would be a good time to talk? Question mark. So you didn't ask, by the way, do you want to talk? You're doing what they call in sales is this assumed sale. You're assuming they're going to do it. Hey, John, would you like it in brown or black? Hey, John, would you like this delivered to your office or to your home? That's an assumed sale. This is what we're doing here. So I didn't come up with this. But what this does is it seems like a genuine response that you didn't send to just 10,000 freaking people. You send it to just and only them. And they then feel they're special. Okay, people want to feel like they're special. And when they get a message, whether it's in the physical mail, email, and in this case, they don't want to see no mass message that was sent out. That's going to make them want to put it in the trash can. And if you're going to do that, you're just wasting your time. So don't be like, oh, can't we just automate this? No, you're just wasting your time at that point in time. For that matter, the tricky part here to follow is figuring out what to say ultimately to get them to where it seems like why you picked them to reach out to them. If it's a fitness brand, it would say, I saw you because it looks like you have a good genetics and it looks like it would be very easy for you to get in shape based upon your build type. Or it could be, if you're talking about selling accounting services, it can be like, because I have worked with businesses of your type before. You know, it's not that complicated, but obviously you'll have to figure that out. And it's the hardest thing to get because you're going to want to obviously outsource this to a staff member. How to outsource it to them. I mean, this is where sales comes in. Because like if you're doing like even B2B sales, selling to businesses, reaching out to people through email, you got to come up with a creative way to seem like why it is that you're reaching out to them. Oh, I thought your website looked good, or I thought that because of this, you'd be a good candidate. That's where the salesmanship comes in handy. Don't skip this step because this matters everything in terms of the response rate you're going to get. I'm going to talk about response rates here in a minute. And furthermore, the other part to obviously figure out is what you're going to give them. Now, it's hard to give away something for free that's valuable to the client. You know, this is where you just got to get creative as well. If you're a fitness coach, you're offering them a free diet plan. Or if you're the accountant, you're going to say you're going to offer them a free financial analysis to see if there's any gaps in your taxes that you can be saving money. Naturally, you may say, oh, I can't afford to give them that or whatever. Give as much as you can, understanding that everything you give out, a certain percentage are going to close. That client's going to be worth so much money over the long span, over their lifetime with you. And then just try to justify it that way. I mean, you can take revenue that you made in your company over the lifespan, divided by the total customers you have to find your average customer lifetime value. And then from that, you could then figure out, okay, well, I could pay, let's say 20% of what I'm making from a customer in marketing cost. Okay, now you have a border around you can afford to give for as far as a freebie to get them to respond here. Oh, I can spend $100 to get a client because I know I'm going to in the future at least get 500 from this person over the lifespan. Well, I can now offer them quite a bit. $100, I can pay an employee for 2 hours to do a financial tax analysis for this person. And it's fine, if you will. But, you know, that's assuming that we didn't have every single person who got the analysis signed up. The reality is they're not going to, everything that you give out for free, every person that gets a free thing is not going to close. There's going to be a closing percentage that you get. That closing percentage is not nearly as bad as you think, but it's also not 90% either. It's going to typically be 5 to 50% somewhere, depending on what you give. And of course, how hot of product or service you have. And of course, also the person who interacts with them to give them the free thing, how good their salesmanship is and how likable they are. And there's a lot of different factors here. But that is your formula right there, all right? Now, before I get into the numbers here, in terms of the case studies I promised you at the start of this video, if you haven't taken time to subscribe to this channel yet, you should. I have the best information on how to make money from using ads online. This is all this channel is about. It's coming from somebody who spends 40 hours a week doing ad strategy at our firm to find out what works. And most of the people on YouTube, they're just talking about ads. They're not actually running ads themselves, and the information's just garbage as a result of that. So if you want to make tons of money with ads, you want to learn from someone in the weeds doing the work on a high level doing the strategy, which I do. I also got a great blog on my site at guaranteedppc.com/blog where you can find step-by-step information on how to actually make money from ads the way that I do for our clients to guarantee, literally speaking, the results. We do not charge our clients management fees at our firm. And then with that, the strategies I actually use to do that, we get the results for the client on a guaranteed basis so we can afford to do that. I share on the blog as well. So you should check that out as well. If you like the channel, you'll like the blog. And for that matter, if you just want myself and our team to help execute on these strategies I talk about on this channel, and guarantee your results, we'll do that for you. Just reach out to me at our firm at guaranteedppc.com. I'll give you an 8-quarter projection of your results with a minimum guarantee of results of whatever you're doing. We'll do more. It will get you more sales and more leads than you have now before we charge our management fees. And, assuming we can get you results, we'll make you an offer like that. I also, by the way, have ad templates available now as well. I've realized a few years ago now that a lot of guys like managing their own ads, even if we could help them directly do all their ads for them. And with that said, if we've been in your niche market before, we can sell you the winning ads, landing pages, all of it that work for your niche market. You copy paste those into your ad account yourself and get the same results we did in another city or country than you're in. And ultimately didn't have to go through all the work that we did to figure out how to get results in your market. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I can tell you the results we got in your market before. And, being in hundreds of markets before, chances are quite high we've got the results you're looking for. And if you want to, by the way, reach out to me about anything I'm covering here or any marketing related questions, you can always leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment or question on this channel. You can also reach out to me through my site. We can set up a private phone conversation that way. I also have a Discord link in the video description where I'm in there answering questions in the PPC group that I've set up there as well. As far as the case studies now, I had a fitness coach. I touched on this before, that we had a fitness coach that we work with where we use this exact strategy. It was a free diet plan and exercise plan that we gave them, which was the obvious. In that space, it was too easy to come up with a freebie offer because ultimately that in and itself isn't that hard to put together. You can get that put together. So you start with a bunch of templates for different diet plans and exercise plans. Then you just interview the person, and based upon the questions that they answer, you get fit into one template or another. So literally in an hour, you can put together, that's not quite as good as doing it the old-fashioned way, but basically in an hour, you can get an okay thing. And well, how can you complain when you're getting something for free anyway? You can't, it wasn't the most advanced thing. This is a guy who ran an agency for fitness coaches. So they had other coaches doing the work. They'd pay one of their coaches to spend an hour to give them the free thing. So they're basically paying the $30 cost of the labor cost to deliver this free thing. Then of that, we got 12% of the people who commented just take on the free trial. And then of those, approximately 1 in 5 actually turned into a paid client itself. Real question here is, how much did this affect the ROI of the campaign as a whole that we were running? Because this is the main thing or reason why you do this. You do this strategy not because it's fun, but it subsidizes the cost of the ad spend. Maybe you're making enough money from your Facebook ads, you don't give a shit, if it gets any more efficient. I mean, if that's you, I want to hire you, by the way. In a lot of cases, it's not profitable enough. You're working a lot for little margins. This will kick up the ROI in your campaigns a lot. The typical ad that we ran for this was to show basically what kind of results you can get with a personal trainer and fitness coach itself, and like before and afters with our proprietary methods of getting the results, talking about those. That in itself generated leads, but we added this process to get more out of the people who liked and commented on the post. Itself changed the entire economics of the campaign to the point where we got 164% more ROI from the campaigns once we added this as an additional piece. Instead of just waiting for people to respond on their own, a ton of people would like it. They're open to doing it, but for whatever reason, it just wasn't ready they didn't think it was for them at that time, or they just didn't have confidence that it would work for them. So that's where having a fitness coach reach out to them, having a discussion with them, give them the confidence, and now they're ready to do it. But more so, it just allows them to take a baby step in the direction of working with us, which is just liking the thing, which they didn't think of it as a baby step, but that's exactly what it was. And then now we took them and gave them another baby step. Hey, let's just get some information to you. Oh, hey, now you got the plan. Just come out for a free initial session. See how this worked with us. It's much better if you get somebody that will actually be there coaching you along. And then you have your increase in sales. So that's fitness coach. CFO outsourcing. So a CFO, it's a chief financial officer at a company. They watch over and manage all the money coming in and expenses going out. A lot of companies need this, but they can't afford it. So what they'll do is they'll hire an outsource, like a staffing agency for CFOs. Okay, and they call it like fractional CFO. So I need a CFO, not full time, but comes in 1 week, once a quarter to check everything over, so that we can see the holes in what we got. And posts that we were running, which we're talking about specifically, and this is where understanding your market really comes into play. Like the average person would run a CFO service ad saying, hey, you need a CFO to save money and da 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 da. That's great and everything. That'll get some results, but you'll get much better results understanding how to find something that will really trigger people. Your employees are stealing from you. At least 10% of businesses, some employees stealing at least some money from you. And guess what? And people never catch on to it because they never have a trained financial analyst look at their numbers specifically, and which is actually true. So we packaged this up into an ad. It was a lot more successful than the first ad that I mentioned. Anyway, we also started reaching out to people who commented and liked, because it's something that had a lot of engagement, even though people would think, it's good, but I don't really think my employees are stealing from me. Everybody thinks their employees are different. So in that case, we got 16% of the people who liked and or commented, where we could talk to them at least. 4% of the people that we talked to would close into a client itself. And this in and itself increased the ROI even more than the fitness coach business. 284% increase in ROI on the campaign, just adding that one element there. Why? Because there's a ton of people commenting and liking on this post. And not everybody after seeing that is going to immediately jump into something like this. This is a big commitment. The average person spending at least 50 grand in revenue over time, more so averaging like 125,000 lifetime value of a client in that industry. So even one extra sale makes another $100,000 to $125,000. But the big thing is it had a lot of comments, which in B2B, you're going to get a lot of comments, a lot of reactions on a piece like that. And it's very, very profitable. So if you're in B2B, you should absolutely be doing this. If you're in services in general, you should be doing it. But even if you were to sell product by itself, let's say you're just even selling shovels. I mean, hell, let's just be simple about it here. Even in that case, people are saying, hey, I like this shovel, and they leave in comments like that. Why are you not reaching out to them? And maybe not with this exact formula, but at least saying like, hey, we're running a shovel special. I would like to just know what kind of shovels that you're using, and I'll set you up with the best shovel package we can, and I'll get you the best deal on it possible. And just leave an open-ended question like that, and then just see if they respond. That would be the bare minimum I would do. Even though, it's hard to devote sales resources to somebody buying a $20 shovel. I get that, and that's what you're going to be limited to in that case. But, if it's a $200 shovel, then you can say, I'm a shovel expert. Hey, can I have just a little bit of time to figure out if the shovel that you're using is the best shovel for your needs? Because I can tell you if it is or isn't. When can we talk? And then you're going to get a lot more sales that way. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to pretty much wrap it up with that. Hopefully that made a lot of sense to you, what this method is, how it works, and how much specifically you can make from it at the end of the day if you're in the right market like we had in these couple examples here. So let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to see another video, click here. It is one of my best ones.